Oh my goodness. These are my decks for 2018 and my books. Oh my word, where to begin? I don't know where to begin. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. It's this loveliness over here. This is a vintage deck. This is from either very late 70s or early 80s. I'm not 100% sure. It does have the copyright in the bottom. It's the small copyright. It does have Pixies fonts, and the colors are just so amazing. This is I'm going to call this year the year of the RWS. I have probably about 15, 16 decks that I just collected this year alone. And I'm probably going to find the elusive copyright-free RWS. This, I can't say how much I love this deck more now that I can really see the image in a more pristine way. Absolutely love this deck. It's fantastic up until seeing these cards the way they are. I was not a fan of the original. There's some other decks that have been altered and used that made me love the deck as well. But this is the one that says, oh my word, this really is a beautiful deck. The next deck is something that I actually created myself, and I love it. I just am that much of a geek that I went ahead and make playingcards.com. I think it's like that. I'll put the link in the description box on how you can order your own. I do not own any of the images that you see. I got them off the internet, and to ask where I got the images, I would be lying. I'm not going to sell this deck. It's for entertainment value only for me, personally. I love this deck because I created it. And, come on, Ten of Pentacles, Aquaman and Mirror. Oh, love it, love it, love it, love it. And Black Panther. This is, as you can see, the reason why it would never be created is because it combines many different comic houses, like Marvel, DC, and some small independent ones as well, from the movies as well as the comics. And I can't tell you how much I love this particular deck. It makes me happy every time that I use it. And lately I haven't used it anywhere enough. And I'm going to go back and probably use it again. And my ambition for 2019 is to do my Doctor Who deck, which I really, really, really want to do. I have some of the images already, but I just haven't found time with the new job, with the move back to helping my mom out raising my brother's grandchildren. So it's kind of been a really crazy year for me, but I do love my decks. The next deck I want to talk about is the Everyday Witch. This deck I thought was going to be too cute for cool, and it really kind of hit me in a positive way. It brought joy into my life, and it brought happiness into my life. It wasn't overly harsh. It was giving me the right amount when I need it and how I needed it. The images are absolutely phenomenal. I love this moon card. The moon card is usually one of those cards for me that is important in the deck, and this one really does do it for me. And also another card in the deck that really is a card that I look at is the Ten of Wands. And this one just reminded me of me in so many different ways, with me and my beautiful little kitten boy. He's always at my side. I'm surprised he's not around because I am filming. But definitely this is beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful deck. So the next deck that I'd like to talk to you about, and this deck really has a lot of meaning to me as well. I first saw this deck when Simon did an unboxing, and it really kind of gave me a warm feeling, and this death card really, it's made this deck one of my decks that I've reached to when I just need a warm comfort arm around me and a nice memory. And another reason this deck is so amazing is that it is a very modern deck that is very diverse, and I just come on. This screams diverse in every way, and I love the fact that she's in a wheelchair. And diversity is really important for me to have in a deck. It's not everything in a deck, but it certainly needs to be there. Some decks really kind of need, for me anyway, they need to have something, unless it's a vintage deck or a deck that really kind of is a unique deck. And one of those decks is this winter Waite. I got this about a week ago, and I couldn't stop playing with it. It's just wonderful. It's not a diverse deck, but it gives me warm, fuzzy feelings. And if you haven't gotten this deck, I strongly recommend it. It has this borderless, and it also had bordered one too, but come on. This is amazing borderless. This is what a deck for me should look like. I don't like borders, and this deck just really has a lot of satisfaction to me. It's like a warm, hot cocoa on a cold winter's night, and you're snug in your PJs, and you want that warm, fuzzy feeling. But it also does the really cool thing by, Justice is, St. Nicholas, and he has his list, and he's checking it twice. He's going to see who's naughty and nice. And how this is drawn, I just can't wait for the Trip and Wait to come out by this. It's the Tarot's website is called tarotcollections.com. I'll put a link on the bottom. But come on, this is so beautiful. I mean, look at, even the Hangman is chilling. He's got a little glow in the background, and it's really an amazing. Even the Miser's getting into the swing of things, and death. I don't mind that the numbers are not there, because I know Rider-Waite very well, and this, with some minor tweaks, is Rider-Waite. So this is my hot cocoa deck, and you can never take that away from me, because it's amazing. It's been at my side since I got it. Another deck that is not quite diverse, but it's a super fun deck. It's out of print, unfortunately, and sorry to do this to you, but I think that Jennifer Ball and I were the last ones to get them off of eBay when they were on there, and They were like $50 the deck. I don't know how much they are now because they're no longer up there. You really can't find them anymore. But this is I talk like a pirate day. And I thought that this was going to be cutesy. I thought this was going to be like, hey, it's a pirate thing. But I've gotten some really great readings from this deck. It's fun to work with. It has a great story in it. The artist that drew it is a comic book artist again. I guess I'm drawn to comic book artists doing tarot. But these images are, absolutely gorgeous. And if you can find it for a good price, I say snap it up. I also probably did a no-no for you collectors out there. I edged it in blue. I just thought it was a very different card. This is the back of the deck. It's so beautiful. Love this deck. Love, love, love this deck. I don't take it out as much as I would like, because I've been getting so many different decks lately. It's crazy. But this is readily available to me. It's like right in my cubby hole. So and the next deck I want to talk to you about is the Next World Tarot. This is like everything you would want in a diverse deck that is, whether it's confronting LGBTQ issues, ability issues, political issues, ecological issues. It's in here. Is it for everyone? No, it's not for everyone. But what this is it's a reminder to those of us who call ourselves feminist that we need a wake-up call. We need to walk what we believe in. And this just reminds me every time I use it that I have a responsibility not only to myself, but the world around me. It's how I can make the world a better place. How can I connect with other people? And this absolutely does it. It's just a stunning deck. She's amazing. Look at this. Oh my God. She is beautiful. And some of the cards have changed, and has been an issue with some. Not me. I kind of rather like it. I like this team. I like a lot of the changes in the deck. And I love this magician card. She has all the twos. She's a techno witch for the 21st century. Look at that. Look at everything that she has. She has her herbal medicine, feminist theory. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. And this is one card that I absolutely loved, and it's the Six of Pentacles, and she calls it redistribution, Moon and Taurus. Notice what they're doing is they're collecting things that have been tossed out and tossed away, hopefully to give to others, to make others' lives enriched. It's to carry on that step from the Five of Pentacles. This makes the Six of Pentacles is going out and doing something about the problems that were in the Five of Pentacles. And that's the reason why I really do love this card. I'm going to stop here at this deck because I get a lot to get through, or I would go through it all. And oh, it's so gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. I love it. Another gorgeous deck. I want to talk a little bit first before I show this deck. I got the Marshmallow Marseille probably a few months ago. I got the Tom Benjamin book as well. I've been wanting to get into Marseille. I have some vintage decks like the Carriel. I have the Medieval Scarpini. I have a couple of other retro decks. And I've always wanted to, but I really couldn't connect with any of them that I picked up. I like the pip decks I would always give away. It's because I needed a little bit more in the connection. I understand numerology, and I can understand intuition. I can understand all of that, but sometimes you needed to be pointed in the right direction. Pimp cards have never done that for me until now. I think a lot of things happened along the way. I've been studying tarot now for probably about 30 plus years, and a lot of it is with Rider-Waite Smith or clones or Toth decks, or but when it came to like Marseille decks, I really kind of stepped back and said, okay, I kind of like the first 22 cards, but after that, I really, really had no connection to them until this deck. This is the Tarot de Marseille Millennium Edition. It comes in a super great box. This box is amazing. Really tough. The paper is buttery smooth. I mean, I could sit here and play with this deck all day just because of the paper that it's printed on. And the colors are simply amazing. The colors are just totally out of this world beautiful. The images are striking and beautiful and lovely. This pip card is not uninviting as it used to be for me. It's just clean and it's there, and I can think about, okay, this is the Six of Wands. How does that relate? What do these mean? How can I, what do the wands mean? What does this number 6 mean? What does it mean in the suit of wands? So all those ideas come through my head, and the cups are really beautiful. I can focus on something. Okay, it's like these two buds are coming up. Are they having a conversation? Where's the third one? I don't see a third one. What does that mean in relation to? So all of these things really kind of push me into that direction of Marseille. I'm getting better at Marseille readings, and I love the directionality of the Marseille styles, and trying to incorporate that more. And it's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, one of the problems that I had with Marseille is that it's really not a diverse deck. Let's face it, it was created for the nobility or the upper class to have their fun in Europe. So there's no real diversity in there. So I saw this deck, and I saw it several people show it off, and I'm like, I don't know. It's such a beautiful and fun deck. It's the New Choice Tarot, and it's absolutely beautiful. The images are quite amazing, and man, look at them. Look at the shoes. The truth and story, she's right. The shoes in this are to die for. And it's just so so great. And it's an amazing deck. Gives amazing readings. I love the women. You know, although there's not a whole lot of diversity, but it really does show, you know, it includes LGBTQ themes, and that's why I actually love this deck. And another reason it pushed me over the top to get are these flowers on it, and each one of these flowers have meanings in the deck. And I'm right now really kind of looking up what the flower is and cross-referencing them in my flower journals and seeing what how they relate to the card or a symbol or what have you. So I'm really enjoying really kind of looking deeper into the card, and this sword is amazing. So yeah, I do love this deck. I'm going to kind of figure out a way to read with it holistically. And by the way, the paper quality in this deck, I don't know. I think someone got married and had love children. That's all I can explain about the paper quality of both of these decks. So now that I have the tarot decks out of the way, I'm going to show you the books. I'll be back in a second. So these are just a sampling of my books that I have acquired this year. I have some more on my bookshelf, and I've read most of these folks, no, actually all of these here, and most of the books that I got this year on tarot, I've read. I consume them like they were elixir of life. Let's go through them one at a time. So for me to get better connected with Marseille decks, I got this one. This one is by Catlin Mathews, and it's great. I really do like it. As you can see, I tagged a lot of it, and I also took detailed notes on some of the areas that I wanted to work on and improve. And yeah, there's some mistakes of printing in the book that I wish she would have been a little bit more careful of. But overall, it's a really good book. But not only is it a good book, but it's a good read. Not a lot of these books are good reading material. This is, and I really can't recommend it enough. The next book is, this is a guide to a tarot that I've had for, oh man, I think the book, the deck that I have is a first edition of this Gothic Tarot Companion, and it's by Joseph Vargo, the deck is, and Joseph, what is it? I'm sorry, I butchered the name, but it's by Monolith Graphics. If you have the deck, it's not, you don't need this book, but what this book will do, and the reason why I have it on my list, is it will give you a lot more information than the Little White Book does. And it tells you why the author chose the particular card. Let's see if I can get here my Wonder Woman card out. I guess I was looking up strength. Sometimes what I do is I pick a card from the deck and go in and write just information about the particular card in my journal. And it's going to tell you why the artwork was selected, which kind of like said, wow, that is really a phenomenal idea for any author who writes a book or compendium on their tarot deck. It's really great. So I blame this book on our beloved Brian Cormack, our beloved BCC. This is really kind of an interesting book. And if you don't know what the enneagram is, I would suggest you look into it by checking out his channel, and I will link it below. It's quite a interesting information, and so, and this book really does put a lot of it together. You know, why, what your enneagram is, and how it relates to the tarot deck, what cards does the archetypes relate to, and it's really an awesome book. I think that I read most of the book, and I didn't get into like the appendixes. I just was reading about the tarot and the enneagram on this one. But well worth the read. If you can find this used, it would probably be a better deal. Just to give you. And then the book is $24.95. It's a little bit cheaper on Amazon. I think it was about $18 on Amazon. But you probably find it used elsewhere. But honestly, it's a really nice book. The next book for this year, it's this bad boy. It is anything you wanted to know about the tarot you were afraid to ask. Yeah, that too. Yeah, this is a great book. It's 600 pages long, and yeah, I have read it all, and some of my light reading. Excellent book. Gives lots of information about on the occult origins of tarot. It talks about, you know, the different styles of tarot, and it even tells you about like some basics of early playing cards. So yeah, well worth it. If you really need to know some in-depth stuff about the tarot, this is the way to go. Although this is not a new book, this is the 1997 edition, and I've had it since 97. I did pull it up because Rachel Pollack has another wonderful, wonderful, wonderful book. And I have to say that I love it even more than the 78 Degrees of Wisdom. But come on, this is like the Bible, and this is like the revived Bible. That's the best way that I can say about this. And yes, I did actually go and read this whole thing. As you can tell, I took I put some placeholders in parts of the book, and yes, it's quite a thick book, but honestly, it's probably the most comprehensive book that if you let's put it this way. If you only had, how much is this book? If you only had $26.99 and you could only buy one tarot book, this would be it for me. It's that good. If you buy this book, you don't need to buy this book. This is an updated 78 Degrees of Wisdom, and it does so in a wonderful way, and it gives you historical representations of the cards. It's just, oh, Rachel, I love you. Okay, so moving on. So here is another book that I think would make a good reference book in your tarot library. And one of the reasons why I got this is because I really liked these tables in here. And it gives you in-depth information. Like, this is all about Kabbalah and the correspondences that you need to know for tarot. It's in here. Did I read every bit of this book? No, but I did look through it. I wanted to see where things were and make references for when then I need them. Like, at some point of this year, of this upcoming year, one of my things that I want to do is I want to learn more about the Kabbalah. So I'll know that I could just go to the back of this book and read the section on Kabbalah. So this is really kind of cool way to approach it, and I like this right here, and I think that I like this because it's really when BCC was doing his the numbers. This really hit home because he was talking about how 1 and then 1 became 2 and 2 became 3, and he talks about these many points along the way, and this was really kind of a very cool way of looking at it. And looking back, and when he was going through this, I go, oh wait, I have that. Let me go back and, so this was really kind of really neat. When I poked around it, it's like, this is like how to read your astrology chart. What is the, meanings of astrological correspondence when you're reading. So this is more of like the nuts and bolts. This is like if you wanted to know the relationship between cards. And so it's not something that you'd read like from cover to cover, but it does give you some really great information. So those are my fun things that I've been doing. And just to give you kind of a look at my messy desk, I'm kind of afraid to do that. But this is where I keep like my crystals, and like this is a tarot by an author on Instagram. I got this to support her continued development of this particular tarot deck because I really kind of thought it was cool. I think it's more of an oracle, to be honest, because I don't see where the broom fits in the tarot setting. But yeah, this is my video. If you have any questions about any of the books that I showed you, or any of the cards, the decks that I showed you, just ask away down below. And have a fun holiday and a safe one.